Fever leads to pneumonia. Beijing sees largest number of children receiving intravenous therapy in 40 years. 2 gunshots, chilling corpse, high school performance of Abe assassination shocks overseas. Only in communist China, to cultivate servility, employees forced to lay on the ground to eat. Evergrande's US dollar bonds plunge by 50%, defaulted bonds approach nearly $300 billion. The Chinese government sells off state-owned properties on a large scale. Analysis: an avalanche is not far away. Jiayin labeled public enemy as CCP performs shell game. It's all covered in today's China Truths. Fever leads to pneumonia. Beijing sees largest number of children receiving intravenous therapy in 40 years. In recent times, Beijing Children's Hospital has been swamped with a significant number of children being hospitalized due to high fevers, even during the late hours of the night, causing long queues for intravenous treatment. Some citizens have remarked that they haven't witnessed such a crowded scenario of children receiving intravenous treatment in the past 40 years. According to a report in the Beijing Evening News on October 7, since the commencement of the school year on September 1, there has been a noticeable increase in child patients seeking treatment at the hospital, with over half of them testing positive for mycoplasma pneumonia. Video circulated online revealed that upon hospital evaluation, these children's lungs appear entirely white, indicating a severe form of pneumonia. Officially, it's being attributed to mycoplasma pneumonia infection, but the public believes it's a new coronavirus positivity. Ms. Wang, a Beijing resident, believes that this is a manifestation of the new coronavirus epidemic, and she herself has contracted the virus and tested positive. She mentioned that the current pandemic situation in Beijing is exceptionally severe. Symptoms include a runny nose, watery eyes, diminished vision, and at times, she couldn't see anything for a few hours. The mucus she expelled was even tinged with blood. She emphasized that her condition is more severe than when she previously tested positive. The Chinese Communist Party, CCP, has a history of concealing epidemic truths. Since the relaxation of pandemic control measures at the end of last year, the official narrative has been to downplay the COVID-19 pandemic, resulting in increased opacity in the information provided to the public. However, in reality, the new coronavirus has never disappeared. 2 gunshots, chilling corpse, high school performance of Abe assassination shocks overseas. The shooting death of former Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe in July last year shocked the international community. However, 1 year later, at No. 3 High School in Zhaozhuang, Shandong Province, they held a campus assembly where students from the sophomore class reenacted the process of Abe's assassination. However, unlike the actual event, after reenacting the assassination, the students swiftly unfurled a large red banner with the words, 2 gunshots, chilling corpse, sewage discharges, lingering trouble, followed by cheers from the entire audience. A video capturing this incident was published on the X platform, quickly causing a public outcry. Many Chinese netizens left critical comments, such as "They've lost their minds. 9 years of compulsory education produced these idiots. I can only describe it with one word: shame." Brainwashed little pinks are applauding, "Hatred education begins in childhood, and this is what it results in," talking about Japanese militarism, blatantly disregarding life and promoting violence is a disgraceful and shameful act. It will only breed more thugs and demons, and someday they will face the consequences of their actions, or how can such an education produce normal individuals? The world's worst education can only be found there. Others pointed out, scientifically, it has been proven that the treated water from Fukushima has no impact on human health. The United States and Western countries have not taken any action. Doesn't this scene remind you of the Cultural Revolution era? It's worth noting that, despite the Chinese government's deliberate promotion of anti-Japanese and anti-sewage sentiments, many Chinese citizens chose to travel to Japan for tourism during this year's Mid-Autumn Festival and National Day holiday. Furthermore, numerous Chinese tourists posted videos of themselves savoring seafood in Japan and praising Japanese cuisine, declaring, "It's delicious." According to a report by Japanese Asahi TV, during the extended National Day holiday period, surveys were conducted among Chinese tourists. The results showed that out of the 11 groups of Chinese tourists surveyed, 9 groups expressed trust in Japan and international monitoring and believed that the radiation levels in the wastewater would not exceed the standards. Only in communist China, to cultivate servility, employees forced to lay on the ground to eat. Recently, a senior Chinese media figure currently in exile in the United States, Jiayin, disclosed on X platform on the 7th that a restaurant in Datong, Shaanxi, has been subjecting its employees to deep brainwashing training, effectively stripping them of their human dignity in exchange for their livelihoods. In a video shared by Jiayin, a group of young men and women dressed in white shirts and black pants uniforms can be seen queuing up to eat while lying on the ground. Each person has a meal tray in front of them, and they use chopsticks to continuously pick up food, seemingly enjoying their meal. This video has sparked public outrage, prompting numerous comments. One user stated, "The rulers of the CCP have always strengthened the division of hierarchy, realizing that it is the most effective way to consolidate their own positions. There is absolutely no concept of equality in their minds, and occasionally, they may talk about equality just to numb the masses. They even falsely claim to be servants, public servants, wholeheartedly serving the people. However, in their actions, they have never lived up to it." Another said, "Only when the people have no dignity can the rulers do whatever they want. The seeds of ignorance were quietly sown in our minds when we were young. Some people later pulled them out, while others have deeply rooted and continued to sow seeds in the next generation. It is euphemistically called traditional culture." According to Chapter 6 of 9 Commentaries on the Communist Party, published by the Epoch Times in 2004, it states, "What's even worse is that the CCP has always used the method of removing the beam and replacing the pillar to carry forward the palace struggles, political intrigues, and dictatorial autocracy that have occurred since ancient times after departing from traditional culture. They created a set of standards of good and evil, ways of thinking, and discourse systems, making people believe that this party culture is the inheritance of traditional culture. They even use people's aversion to party culture to further alienate them from China's true traditional culture. This has brought catastrophic consequences to China, where people not only lose moral constraints but are also forcibly indoctrinated with the evil doctrines of the CCP. Evergrande's US dollar bonds plunge by 50%, defaulted bonds approach nearly $300 billion. With the arrest of Evergrande's founder, Jiayin, a significant number of abandoned real estate projects by Evergrande have been exposed across the country, and Evergrande's debt crisis continues to escalate. According to the latest information from Caixin Media Finance on October 7, Evergrande's Chinese dollar bonds have plummeted by approximately 50%, ranging from $2.20 to $2.40. Furthermore, an updated announcement released by Evergrande on September 28 reported that, as of the end of August 2023, the total amount of overdue debt related to significant lawsuits and unpaid matured debts involving Evergrande Real Estate, a subsidiary of Evergrande, has reached approximately 278.532 billion yuan, approximately $38.7 billion US dollars. Additionally, the company has accumulated overdue commercial notes of around 206.777 billion yuan, approximately $28.7 billion US dollars. Additionally, according to Chinese media, the staggering number of Evergrande's abandoned real estate projects across different regions indicates that the count has reached 1.62 million units, affecting approximately 6 million homeowners. Among these regions, provinces with over 50 abandoned Evergrande real estate projects include 58 in Zhejiang, 59 in Hubei, 60 in Liaoning, 64 in Hunan, 67 in Shandong, 70 in Hebei, 74 in Chongqing, and 85 in Sichuan. In addition, provinces with over 100 abandoned Evergrande real estate projects encompass 115 in Jiangsu and 157 in Guangdong. The Chinese government sells off state-owned properties on a large scale. Analysis: an avalanche is not far away. In the backdrop of China's ongoing economic downturn and a string of property market crises triggered by real estate companies, a wave of property sales on a large scale has been initiated not only by regular homeowners but also by state-owned Chinese enterprises. However, the market is not buying it. For example, recently, the official authorities in Harbin, Heilongjiang Province, orchestrated a 3-day property promotion event in Nanjing, where 13 provincial and domestic real estate companies, including Vanke, participated. These companies showcased 21 real estate projects within Heilongjiang Province, offering nearly 5,000 housing units and providing various housing incentives. However, despite their efforts, the transaction volume for this property promotion event eventually amounted to zero. Against the backdrop of nationwide endeavors to rescue the property market, local state-owned asset platforms in Beijing, Jinan, and Guangzhou have all reported instances of significant property sell-offs within the span of just 1 week. This phenomenon has garnered widespread attention from various sectors. For example, on September 19, the Housing and Urban Rural Development Commission of Chaoyang District in Beijing sold 154 properties in the 5th Ring China Railway International City. These properties were priced between 700,000 and 1.3 million yuan lower than the market rate. It's important to note that this project was completed a decade ago in 2011, and some of the properties are still in an unfinished state. On September 28, the Guangzhou State-Owned Assets Supervision and Administration Group announced plans to sell 400 pre-owned units. Before this, the Jinan City Development Group, a state-owned asset platform company in Jinan, had intentions to sell its inventory of 1,341 pre-owned houses. Additionally, the Jinan Urban Investment Group has put up over 6,000 residential units for sale for the first time. Moreover, various state-owned platforms like Jinan Liqing Holding Group also have a significant portfolio of properties and land, making their volume considerable. However, the market did not respond very positively. The significant thing to note is that the ongoing population decrease in these cities has heightened the pressure to reduce the housing inventory in the property market. Regarding this issue, affairs commentator Wen Zhao recently shared his analysis. The significant selling of accumulated housing resources by state-owned institutions has left many people feeling as if they've awakened from a dream. With authorities emphasizing that housing prices should not be speculated, questions arise about who drove up these housing prices. Who has been stockpiling properties during the era of soaring real estate prices? And who may have instructed government agencies not to allow real estate companies to lower their prices? According to Wen Zhao, when state-owned asset institutions begin selling properties for cash, it signals the possibility of a major policy shift. This isn't limited to just one local state-owned asset institution but involves numerous state-owned asset institutions in both first and second-tier cities. The scale and urgency of this avalanche do not bode well. Su Jiayin labeled public enemy as CCP performs shell game. After Su Jiayin's arrest, numerous scandals emerged about him, with many even labeling him as a public enemy. Analysis indicates that the CCP is manipulating public opinion, making Su the scapegoat for the regime's own wrongdoings. On October 1, an article titled Su Jiayin's Crimes, Unprecedented in History and Unparalleled in the Future began circulating online. The article levied 3 major accusations against Su Jiayin. Firstly, it alleged that he inflicted harm on the nation by leaving behind trillions in debt and millions of unfinished housing units, nearly precipitating a Chinese version of the Lehman crisis. Secondly, it claimed that he wrought havoc on China's real estate industry, personifying its darker facets, becoming synonymous with excessive profiteering, deception, and negativity in the sector. Thirdly, it accused him of harming ordinary citizens, leaving them with nothing but adversity, particularly innocent homebuyers. The article concluded by branding Su Jiayin as the cancer of this era, holding him accountable for the nation's suffering, the industry's ruin, and the people's deception, and asserting that history should pass judgment on him. On October 2, Huang Hongsheng, the founder of Skyworth, expressed his criticism of Su Jiayin in a widely circulated online video, condemning Su Jiayin as an adversary of the Chinese people and the nation. Huang accused Su Jiayin of exploiting American bankruptcy protection laws to convert Chinese assets into personal assets in the United States, a grave transgression against hostile forces. Simultaneously, the Evergrande National Song and Dance Troupe, wholly owned by Evergrande Real Estate and consisting of just over 200 members, young and beautiful girls with full figures, incurred annual expenses comparable to the yearly losses of some heavy industrial enterprises. Salaries alone amounted to approximately 1 billion Chinese yuan annually. Some sources suggest that the Evergrande song and dance troupe served not merely for performances but also catered to the top management of Evergrande and specific individuals. With increasing negative news surrounding Evergrande and Su Jiayin, reports indicated that the troupe had suspended its activities, with its members disbanded last year. CCP's white gloves becoming scapegoats. Su Jiayin is a white glove of the CCP, and his association with the Xing Qinghong family is widely recognized. According to the book Red Roulette by British businessman Desmond Shum, there are also connections to the Jia Qinglin family behind Evergrande. Jia Qinglin is the former chairman of the Chinese People's Political Consultative Conference. Su Jiayin has also emphasized repeatedly in public that everything provided by Evergrande is given by the party. However, despite being a white glove who was extremely loyal to the party, Su was still demoted by the CCP and turned into an enemy as needed. Su Ziyun, director of the Institute of National Defense Strategy and Resources at the Taiwan Institute of National Defense and Security, believes that this is a consistent tactic of the CCP. The CCP is currently facing internal and external challenges, and when problems arise, it evades responsibility and shifts the blame onto corrupt officials and unscrupulous businessmen to prevent social unrest because shareholders who have suffered substantial losses and owners of unfinished buildings are considered destabilizing factors. Analysis: the CCP shell game. Political commentator Tang Jingyuan acknowledged that Su Jiayin has indeed negatively impacted the real estate industry and the people. However, it is incorrect to claim that Su Jiayin has harmed the country. The entity that has consistently harmed the nation all along is not Su Jiayin but the CCP itself. He stated that the CCP is manipulating public opinion tools and using the 50 cents army to steer the narrative in the Su Jiayin incident. It is impossible for Su Jiayin to achieve such great success and cause such significant harm without the support of the government or powerful forces behind him, providing him with platforms. The CCP has nurtured Su Jiayin and used him to amass wealth. But now, the CCP has to evade responsibility and cut ties with Su Jiayin. Capturing and releasing ghosts are all part of the CCP's tactics. The Su Jiayin incident may bring greater turmoil to the entire Chinese society and also have a comprehensive impact on the Communist Party's regime. In this wave of public opinion, we can see the Communist Party once again playing with its already very skilled golden cicadas. Mr. Tang said that, but this time, it may have ignited the flames. Don't forget to leave a comment in the section below to share your opinions on today's topic with us. Make sure to like and subscribe to see more interesting topics from China Truths.